Do you know, let me explain something to you about this. Do you know that the Democrat operative in the DOJ that said they mistakenly deported him, he was fired. He was a plant in there. He was not authorized to say that. So that's not even true that he was mistakenly deported. That's a fake news narrative, by the way. Because
so your interpretation of them firing the DOJ lawyer that admitted to that it was a mistake is that he was a plant, not that he did something that pissed off Trump and they fired him for that.
Exactly. Why would you say that it wasn't a mistake?
Because as a lawyer, as a bar licensed attorney, if the judge asks you a direct question, you don't get to lie. You have to tell the truth.
Okay, so he didn't lie saying, yeah, we deported him by mistake. Of course he lied. That's why he was fired. He didn't have any authorization to make that statement. He made that on his own as a Democrat operative. That's why he was fired. That's what deep staters are. Do you understand what deep staters are? They're unelected bureaucrats that sit in there and do not carry out the agenda of the president that's been elected. This is not a democracy right now. This is a bureaucracy. Do you understand the difference?
All right, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you.
So I disagree with you. I listened to your last conversation. So do you realize that you're at a point now where you're supporting violent gang members to remain in the USA?
Not true.
That's where the media and your acolytes got you at this point.
Oh, that's not true at all. Definitely not.
Okay, let me ask you a question. In 2019, DHS's paperwork on Garcia. So you support Garcia. You think he should come back? Yes or no? I think
he should come back and have due process.
Okay. So do you think violent gang members who are guilty of felonies who came across illegally have due process in our system, in our judicial system?
Yes, everyone does.
Yeah, okay. So you think violent gang members can come across, commit violent crimes, felonies against other human beings, and be entitled to due process? He beat his wife multiple times. County police found him to be a certified gang member of MS-13. DHS paperwork in 2019 found him to be a gang member in MS-13. In addition to that, the gang that he said he's seeking asylum from in El Salvador doesn't exist anymore. So the asylum claim is gone. So what do you have left?
You could tell me. You could have come in. I'll respond to all that. Just give me 1 second. I just want to make this clear to chat more than anything. You could come in here and provide me 100% proof that he's a notorious serial killer. You could come in here and provide me proof that this motherfucker is actually Jack the Ripper. No, he's the Zodiac Killer. We finally caught him. We caught the Zodiac Killer. It's Abrego Garcia. You could do that, and I would still say he deserves due process. So there's no argument you can make where I go like, yeah, actually, you're right. No due process for him. Because it's either everyone or no one.
Nobody in a terrorist organization does. Can we say that word on TikTok?
It's risky.
All right, schmerorist, I'll just say. They are not entitled to due process. So the Shoe, Bomber, whatever his name was, Richard something, all those guys, Mohammed Atta, you think that they should be given, if let's assume they're all illegals, they came across illegally, they've committed grievous crimes, unaliving thousands of people, and they should be given due process.
Yeah. I gotta ask you one question. You seem to believe that you have a good grasp on the law and the Constitution. If that is the case, if you think you got all this knowledge packed into your brain, I just need a logical explanation. It doesn't have to be long, but I just need a logical explanation for why every court just keeps goddamn disagreeing with you every time this issue gets raised.
No, they're not.
Tell me which one.
The 9-0 decision that the Supreme Court just handed down gave Trump the victory, contrary to the pretty much contradictory narrative you're hearing from fake news media.
Oh yeah,
that's a victory to Trump.
Tell me what the decision was. Tell me what the decision was.
The decision was that they don't have to bring him back; that they just have to facilitate it. Which means that if El Salvador agrees to bring him back, that they would facilitate it, which means to provide the transportation. But that doesn't say that they have to bring him back. That it's on the Trump administration to bring him back.
Did the Supreme Court say that, or are you interpreting that from the word facilitate?
That's what it means. I got into an argument with someone earlier today, and I dog walked them, and they had to kick me out of the live.
I guess I'll ask you again. Is that from your own interpretation, or did they say that?
Let me ask you something.
No, you're going to answer my question before we move on. Is that your interpretation, or did they say everything you just said in the order?
That's what is coming out of the Trump administration, their spokesperson, and there has been no pushback. Has there been any pushback from the legal team for Garcia on that? No.
Yes, a lot.
No, there hasn't. So let me explain something
Hold
to
on.
you. So
No,
this
you're
is
not going to
what
lie on my stream and then move on. No. We're
I'm
we're
not
not we're
lying
not,
to
we're
you.
no. We're not moving off that point until
Because
it's
I'm going to
settled.
dog
No,
walk
stop. We're
you.
not
Know what's
moving off
about
that
to
point.
happen.
We're not moving off of that. You don't just get to come in here and lie and then we just walk away from the lie. Okay. You just said there's been no pushback from Garcia's legal team. Garcia's legal team has filed a motion to hold the government in contempt because of what you just said. Because they're not doing shit.
Dispute what? Do you know? Let me explain something to you about this. Do you know that the Democrat operative in the DOJ that said they mistakenly deported him? He was fired. He was a plant in there. He was not authorized to say that. So that's not even true that he was mistakenly deported. That's a fake news narrative, by the way. Because
so your interpretation of them firing the DOJ lawyer that admitted to that it was a mistake is that he was a plant, not that he did something that pissed off Trump and they fired him for that.
Exactly. Why would you say that it wasn't a mistake?
Because as a lawyer, as a bar licensed attorney, if the judge asks you a direct question, you don't get to lie. You have to tell the truth.
Okay, so he didn't lie saying, yeah, we deported him by mistake. Of course he lied. That's why he was fired. He didn't have any authorization to make that statement. He made that on his own as a Democrat operative. That's why he was fired. That's what deep staters are. Do you understand what deep staters are? They're unelected bureaucrats that sit in there and do not carry out the agenda of the president that's been elected. This is not a democracy right now. This is a bureaucracy. Do you understand the difference?
If a judge asks you, why was this man deported? And you know that he had a withholding from removal order. You know that for a fact.
No,
you don't have a choice.
He had a final deport order. He was deported.
No, he had withholding from removal to El Salvador.
He did not have withholding status, dude. That's the difference. You have to understand.
He had withholding from removal to El Salvador.
Terrorists do not.
He had withholding from removal to El Salvador.
Schmerrists that are illegal.
He had withholding from removal to El Salvador.
Let me explain something to you. When you're in a Schmerrist organization, you are not entitled to any due process. Do you capiche? Do you understand that?
Why did the circuit court, the Fourth Circuit, disagree with that today?
Because they're ignoring that. You're not entitled to that.
Why did the Supreme Court disagree with that?
They didn't disagree with that.
They did.
They didn't agree. They didn't go through to confirm that he's an MS-13 gang member. They ignored that part. Do you understand what?
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. I'm gonna mute you if you don't answer this question. I'm gonna fucking mute you. I'm gonna fucking mute you. Of course. You're driving. No, you're not dog walking shit. You're a fucking moron. Yeah. Let me ask you a question.
Oh yeah, you're smart.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you think? Let me ask you a question. Why? When did I say that? I didn't say it. Shut the fuck up. Let me ask you a question. Why did the Supreme Court? Why did the Supreme Court ignore that he was in MS-13?
Did you vote for Kamala real quick?
Why did the Supreme Court know that?
Exactly. It's embarrassing if you answer that.
I didn't vote for Kamala. Why did the Supreme Court ignore?
They gave the victory to Trump because they didn't say you have to bring him back. They just said if El Salvador agrees to bring him back, you have to facilitate it. He's a citizen of their country, not a citizen of this country. He came here.
They said in that order that it was an illegal deportation. Just to be clear.
Do you understand in 2019 that Department of Homeland Security said he's a certified MS-13 gang member? Can we agree on that?
Just to be clear, the Department of Homeland Security doesn't adjudicate whether or not a claim is true. They make the accusation. They investigate, they accuse, they arrest, and then a judge determines whether or not the accusation was true.
So when the police put their charges together and put their case together for prosecutors, do they ignore what the police give them as evidence? So the Department of Homeland Security paperwork, the county in Maryland, the police in that county said he is a member of MS-13. Then DHS did as well. They confirmed it. In addition to that, the gang that he's seeking asylum from no longer exists in El Salvador. So that argument of yours is out the window. Let me explain something to you.
Does a withholding from removal order just disappear as soon as the circumstances change?
In 2019,
or does the government have to go appeal it? I'm going to mute him. Just so chat knows, this guy's a fucking idiot and he can't figure it out for himself. A withholding from removal order doesn't just disappear when your circumstances change. If you were granted withholding, for a certain reason,
fucking idiot, dude.
If you were granted withholding for a reason,
you're in a cult and you're brainwashed. Let me explain.
You are a fucking moron. Let me tell you that. You're dumb.
Listen, fucking moron. In 2019, he went to a Home Depot looking for work. He was arrested by county police. According to court filings, detectives asked if he was a gang member. After explaining he wasn't, he was detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Garcia later told an immigration judge that he would seek asylum and ask to be released. His then girlfriend was 5 months into a high-risk pregnancy. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, however, alleged that he was a certified gang member based on
Hey,
information.
everything you're reading from, I've read, and you're just wasting my time and the stream's time.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
I've
it's
read it
the
all.
truth. It's the truth. You're sitting here. They got you cultist members.
Are agency accusations true?
Terrorists, terrorist members. And
all right, listen. I'm gonna give you one more chance. Look, I'm gonna give you one more chance. We're gonna go back and forth now and have an actual conversation. All right, we're gonna stop doing the. All right, listen, we're gonna stop doing the talking over each other thing. You're gonna make a point. I'm gonna make a point. You're gonna make a point. I'm gonna make a point. Okay? Is that okay?
Yeah, go ahead, MS-13 guy. Go ahead.
I'm in MS-13 now.
Yeah. Apparently you love them and you want them to come back.
Based.
You also, I heard you talking earlier, you want the 200 other ones to come back too, right? So you think that there is no, do you know what
I'm going to give you one more chance
to
have a real conversation. You actually want to talk? You actually want to talk? You actually want to talk?
Tell me what Article 2
you actually want to talk?
Is. You can't tell me that because you're dumb.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Low IQ, bro.
Yes or no?
Your intelligence quotient is very low.
If you can't have an actual conversation, how you don't get to talk
what do you
about
want to ask me? Ask me a question. You're sitting here.
No, I'm saying, can we loop back around and actually talk, or are you just gonna keep yelling over me?
Go ahead. I'll dog walk you even more. Go.
Okay. You talked about all the reports on Garcia, right? You went through and started trying to read them.
Yeah, you want to ignore the county police. You want to ignore.
No, listen. Stop. Listen.
And just rely on an activist judge. Go ahead.
Listen to me. If the FBI were to come to your house right now and arrest you on suspicion of murder, does that mean you did the murder?
So your entire argument then, this is where you're going with this, that no authority can be believed, that ICE can't be believed, DHS can't be believed, county police can't be believed. You have to ignore all of them and say, a judge says, well, we don't believe that. We're just going to give him due process. Is that what you're saying?
So I'll ask again. If the FBI comes to your house right now and arrests you, if the FBI comes to your house right now and arrests you on suspicion of murder, did you do the murder?
Am I a citizen?
But did you do the murder?
I'm a citizen, so I'm given due process. I deserve due process.
Well, non-citizens are given due process too.
No, they're not. Not when they're a schmerris in a schmerris organization.
Do you believe in the Constitution?
They're not given constitutional rights, bro.
But do you believe? That's not what I asked you. Start answering the questions I actually ask instead of the fucking shadow box questions.
Don't sit there and try to rage bait me because you guys don't believe in the Constitution.
Why won't you answer the questions that I ask?
So all those parents at the
why won't you answer the questions I ask? You still haven't answered it. You're going to a whole. Do you? I don't remember what your name is. I don't really give a fuck. Do you believe in the Constitution? Absolutely, more than anything. More than anything.
Do you? Then what's Article 2 of the Constitution say?
Do you want me to recite Article 2 from memory? You want me to recite Article 2 from memory?
What are you gonna do? Teacup now? Go look it up. What? No, just give me the basic of it.
Refine your question. It establishes the presidency.
Give me the main point of Article 2 of the Constitution.
The powers establishes the presidency. The powers of it. How you become it.
He's reading.
I'm looking at chat.
Yeah, I know. You're reading. You don't know shit, dude. You're fucking low IQ, bro. You're sitting
every time you say that, you're kind of showing your hand.
Oh, am I? It's kind of a reverse psychology thing, right? Dude, you people are so brainwashed and stupid that you just listen to fake news and you're reciting everything that's on CNN right now. It's fucking hilarious.
I don't watch CNN. I'm making my own argument.
You think that
why can't you make your own argument? Why can you not? Why can't you answer me that question before I kick you? Why can't you make your own argument?
I already did.
No, every time we're actually getting into the nitty gritty and getting into it, you're like, actually, you're just stupid. Actually, you're just dumb. Make the argument and shut the fuck up about like what's with the ad homs.
What are the 7 continents?
What's with the ad homs?
What are the 7 continents?
You want to have a substantive conversation about this topic or no?
Just end it all right now.
He can't. He can't. He won't. He won't do it.